Hey, what's up? Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're at. I initially I was not going to pop on live today, but it's an off day for the Cubs, so I've been awake since like 4 a.m. I went to bed about 7:30. I'm like I'm an early to bed, early to rise when I'm at spring training. So plenty of sleep. Woke up this morning and just kind of tooled around. I got my autographs in a binder I'll show off in a little bit. Had a couple cups of coffee. Went to McDonald's. Had a couple breakfast burritos. So then I went to Walmart and said, you know what? I'm here for 8 days. I've got a fridge in the room, microwave. I don't need to be eating out every meal. So I picked up some bananas, some mangoes, some granola, water, Gatorade, sugar-free Gatorade. Just a turkey wrap that I'll probably have for lunch today. So just trying to avoid eating out, eating crap. I've done so well over the last 8-9 months. And I'm going to be drinking plenty of beer, and I'll be eating plenty of junk in the next week. So good. It was an easy flight. It's flying is a roller coaster, at least to spring training. And I have different emotions. I'm not traveling for work related. So you have different emotions and feelings when you're flying, when you're going to spring training, as opposed to I'm just jumping on another plane to go to wherever. So I obviously want to have the shortest trip possible. Let's get there. And the pilot comes on and he's like, well, folks, it looks like we're getting a decent flight path and we're going to be about 20 minutes early. And then we're in the air. Well, folks, it looks like we're going to be about 30 minutes ahead of time. So it's like, oh, yes, I've got 30 more minutes to be out at the complex because it's a home game. And this is the first time that I've arrived during a home game. Every other year, it's either been an off day or an away game, and not by design. That's just the way the schedule has worked. But this year, I flew out on a game day, home game at Sloan. So my plan, if it would have been easy in, easy out at the airport, I was going to go to the hotel, get my parking pass, head over to the backfields, hopefully get some autographs there, and then back over to the tent, the tailgate tent before the game. And then I was kind of a game time decision on going into the game or not. I did go into the game. I'm glad I did. Usually, like, nobody from our tailgate, everybody goes into the game. So it's like, well, nobody stays out to the tent. But yesterday, like, most of our group did not go into the game and stayed at the tent. But it's like, it's my first day. I'm really glad I did go into the game. So back to your folks. We're 30 minutes. We're going to arrive 30 minutes early. Bargain Boxer. Yeah. Bargain Boxer states it right. And this is how it always goes. Well, folks, we're on target to land 30 minutes early. And then guess what? You land 30 minutes early and you're on the runway for an hour because they said the jet bridge was broke. So then we had to go to a different gate. So we're on the plane for about an hour. So we ended up being, instead of 30 minutes early, we didn't get off the plane for, 30 minutes later than what we, would have. So, which is okay. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. So I picked up my Turo, and it's, at least this time, I always get confused on which way east is. And I still am like discombobulated all these years later, but I finally have figured out, I need to go this direction. So I'm not doing the loop of the tram at the airport. So I get there. I'm like, man, I'm making good time. Find H1 or H3I3 was where my car was parked. I know exactly as the train is coming in, I know exactly where my car is, I thought. So I go down and I'm like, here we go, here we go. And this same thing happened last year. H3I3 is not in the same like area as H2I2, H1I1. It's on the other. So last year, it was wherever it was parked, it was on like the other side. So like on the north side of the rail instead of the south side of the rail where like the majority of the parking lot is. So I go all the way out to the HI section and it's like, shit, it's not here. So I go all the way back to like the, where the train is. And I'm like, oh, it must be on the other side like it was last year. No, it wasn't. So I go back and I'm looking at the photos that they sent me on Turo and the messages. And I'm like, oh, man, it looks like it isn't in the H. So I go all the way back. I mean, it's good to get these steps. So I finally, 10, 15 minutes more. So then I get out there. So I didn't have time to go to the backfield. So I pulled into the hotel parking lot, get my parking pass, put that away, put my stuff, get my bag prepared for autographs at the tailgate tent, and then headed over. Of course, I forgot my Cubs cards for kids, which the box was supposed to be delivered yesterday. They said, well, the mail wasn't even delayed. Last night after dinner, I came back in. I'm like, hey, was there any mail delivered for me? And they're like, no. And in fact, I've been here all day and the mail we never got any mail today. There you go. USPS. So hopefully it will arrive today. So yeah, I headed over to the tailgate tent. Before I keep rambling on, let's say hello to the chat. What's up, Mikey? Good afternoon. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. here. Just turned 11 a.m. here in Arizona. So East Coast is it 1 o'clock? Yeah, because it's now noon in the Midwest. Victor, what's going on? Happy spring training. Go Cubs. Big win yesterday. 16-1 final score. Bargain Boxer says Cubs win the World Series. Mikey says, I've been up since 4:30. Hey, me too. Todd, good morning. Looks like you're having a great time. Absolutely. Knackley Collectibles, good morning, kinda. Mornings are not the same. It's only been a day. Bob, what's going on? Good morning. Gem City, what's happening? Good day. Just bought a box of 2020 Topps sticker cards, 50 packs to give the kids at the Gem City Card Show. Very cool. Kevin Hawthorne, what's going on? Florida. Casper's in the house. He's also in Florida. What's going on? Bargain Boxer, yep. 30 minutes ahead is code for an hour and a half late. Uncle Rich, or that's not Uncle Rich. That's Rich. What's going on? Check your clock. It's 10. Oh, it is? Oh, shit. It's only 10 o'clock here. It's only so it's 11. My laptop is still set to Midwest time, Central time. Okay, so it's 10 a.m. here. It's 11 a.m. in the Midwest, and it's noon on the East Coast. Okay, now that we figured out the time, enjoy the weather. Got about 8 inches of snow. Oof. I assume that's in Michigan. Oof. I'm glad. I saw not far. I don't think Madison got any snow, but not like 45 minutes north, there was a blizzard, like at Wisconsin Dells and Baraboo. They got blizzard conditions up there. And that's like in 45 minutes to the Dells, an hour to actually Baraboo's not. Is Baraboo closer? Baraboo's closer. So Baraboo's even closer than the Dells. Mikey says, I have auctions ending tonight. Some golden mirrors, SSPs, numbered cards, image variations. Check it out. Very nice. Rich says, is it okay? It's okay. Is that Jonathan Long? Yeah. Me identifying Jonathan Long and knowing what time it is, which I know every time I come out here, every time I travel anywhere outside of my own time zone confuses the hell out of me. And it's going to really confuse the hell out of me when it's daylight savings time this weekend and Arizona does not recognize daylight savings time, but most other places do. And it's going to be like, oh my God, at least the time doesn't change here. At least the time stays the same. So it's 10 a.m. here right now. It'll still be 10 a.m. where it would be noon in Wisconsin as opposed to 11. Max says snow here. How much snow did you get up where you're at? Because I saw some pictures of like Baraboo and the Dells, and man, they got hit. So going back to Jonathan. So first player that comes walking down the path, I'm like, oh, that looks like Jonathan Long. And Rich says, no, that's not Jonathan Long. Jonathan Long did end up coming down. He did a who did I get mixed up? Was it Nick Hull, maybe? I can't remember. Tiger 727 in Upper Michigan. Nackley says 2025 Topps Chrome Sapphire just dropped on the top site. WWE on fire right now. Bob says snowing currently, but nothing accumulating yet. Oh, good deal. But I think it's going to be warm back there. Like I thought I read that it's supposed to warm up. It stinks out here. This is going to be like the warmest day, I think. Maybe actually, I think there might be a day that's going to be a little warmer. It's going to be, according to this, 75. I think the news this morning said 77. Anyway, horse apiece. Monday's going to be the warmest, which I don't think there's I think Monday might be no games. I can't remember for the Cubs, but it's a complete off day out here. Hence why normally I wouldn't be coming on at this time. I'd be out on the backfields, but there's nothing going on the backfield. So I went to McDonald's, had a couple breakfast burritos, went to Walmart, did a little grocery shopping for some healthy food, so I don't have to go to McDonald's every day. And I decided, I'm going to go swing by. I'm just going to drive by into the parking lot and see if there's any activity, because it's literally like 2 blocks from my hotel. So I'm going to go check it out just to see if there's any action going on. It's an off day for all of the Cubs. Big league team is off today, and the minor leagues, no workouts, no games, anything. So, which is I guess it's kind of nice. So it does give me like long travel day on a game day. Gives me a little time to just go get some water, Gatorade, bananas, get kind of settled in. Get prepared for, the week. We've got a lot of Club 400, not a lot, but we've got a few more people coming in Club 400 wise in the next couple days into the weekend. Get my Cubs packs ready. I guess I don't really need, they're already in a box ready to go. So put my autographs. This morning I took out the autographs that I got yesterday and put them in a binder. I brought an empty binder with me, so I didn't have to go out and buy one again. So got that ready, put some different cards in for the rest of the week. So it is kind of nice. I'll hit up the card shop this afternoon. I think we're going to be ripping. Rich, I got to get a hold of you. I got to talk to Ethan too, see what time he wants to rip. We're going to do maybe some trades. I brought Ethan's looking for some vintage now. So we're getting him into the game with some vintage. So I brought some Ernie Banks and some tobacco cards potentially to offload, and then want to get some wax. I'm not going to go. I made a mistake last year and I bought too much and wasted. I got like 2 boxes of Bowman Chrome last year, and that was a bloodbath. So not going to do that. I would like to talking to WWE, I would like to find some WWE Chrome, like not Sapphire, but the regular Chrome. I'd like to get some football, the new Topps Chrome football, just a couple blasters, just to kind of check it out. Speaking of football, great news this morning. The Bears made a trade. So they made 2 trades for offensive linemen, which is exactly what the Bears need. I missed yesterday. I was in full-on baseball mode yesterday, but they traded for Jonah Jackson from the Rams, traded a 6th-round pick for Jackson. And then this morning, big trade for the guard from Kansas City, traded a 4th-round pick for Tooney. Joe Tooney, I think is his name. I had ESPN on, and one of the guys, McAfee's on now. One of the talking heads on ESPN said that Joe Tooney's a potential Hall of Famer guard. So that's a huge get. Kind of opens things up. Now the Bears really don't have a big need where before these trades, it was like that number 10 overall pick, they've got to go offensive line. Now it's like, well, kind of opens up. Do you take defensive linemen? Do you take an offensive tackle at that number 10 pick? Maybe trade down if that's a possibility, if other teams and get another mid-round pick. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for what the Bears are going to do here in free agency when that kicks off here shortly. I think is it next week for NFL free agency? I can't remember, but yeah, I'm excited for what especially these last 24 hours with a trade. I mean, when you're excited about offensive linemen, like that's how bad the offensive line was. Like I'm excited for offensive linemen for the Chicago Bears. Max says, yes, Baraboo close to you. Yeah, Baraboo's probably 40 from my house to the casino where the Dell's card show was like 50 minutes, I think. So Baraboo's probably 40 minutes. I can't remember. Rich says, just having some fun. Absolutely. Grounds were clear when I went to bed, couple inches probably this morning, still snowing. Yuck. Nick Hull. What's up, Kyle? So got out. Rich was at the tent. Who else was Rich? Steve, Tommy, Kathy Weedley, Denise and Gabby. Denise is the kidney recipient. Kathy is the kidney donor, if you saw that story. Let's see. Ron from Iowa, which we just crossed paths yesterday. He's on the yesterday was his last day, my first day yesterday. So we just was able to cross paths for the first day yesterday. Let's see. JP, who usually runs the tailgate tent, he was there. So yeah, it's a good time. The game was crazy, 16-1. Cubs beat the Padres. Pete Crow Armstrong flashing that speed. I was taking a lap. I had just come in, and I was taking a lap around Sloan Park, and I was in right field, and all of a sudden crack of the bat, and there's Pete Crow Armstrong off to the races, and little league home run for Pete Crow Armstrong yesterday. So that was cool. And then took the tent down and had dinner, and I was in bed by like 7:30. I'll show off some of my autographs. Bargain Boxer says, I missed the Dell show. My buddy Grant Slayton put that on, and along with Tim and Lorena from Lake Country Cards. By the way, Tim and Lorena, who helped put the Dell show on as well, they're putting on a big show in Milwaukee in May. It's a 500 table show. So if you liked the Dell show, it's returning in May, new location in Milwaukee. They got a sweetheart deal coming off COVID for the venue in the Wisconsin Dells, and then the price. Just like, I mean, when people say, well, you need to have a bigger venue, you need to have your show at the Alliant Energy Center, it's not feasible. And that's why the Dell show never returned. It just wasn't feasible because that venue was priced out of feasibility. But coming together and putting a show on in Milwaukee in May. Show you. So I ended up getting 24 autographs yesterday, which I'm pretty happy with the results from yesterday. Just coming in on the first day. I mean, I was hoping to get over to the minor league workouts, but I thought this card turned out really cool. Cade Horton, blue Sharpie on a Panini Crusade. So I got Cade. That was a good get. So here, I'll just show off the first page. I got Carlos Perez, Darius Hill, Miguel Cruz, Greg Allen, Dylan Granadillo, Jonathan Long, Cade Horton. And then over here, Rachel Folden, who was in Topps. By the way, Rich took that photo of Rachel Folden that was on the Topps card, plus all the customs all the custom cards that I have, also photographs by Rich, who's in the chat. First Bowman Chrome, Cade Horton down there. I got Travis Jankowski, who was just signed by the Cubs, Nicky Lopez, Matt Boyd. And then over here, we got Mo Baller, Moises Ballesteros on a Bowman Chrome, Matt Shaw. That was a surprise get. James Triantos. I love those South Bend Cubs that year. A couple of years ago, they did where there's plenty of space for autographs there on the side. And then Nick Hull, who I thought was Jonathan Long. So 24 autographs in the first day. And I'll take my card. Rich has the eye. So tonight, as some minor league guys are walking through the hotel lobby, because a lot of the minor league players stay here at this hotel, when we're downstairs ripping cards, I might have to, hey, Rich, who's that? go get some autos in the hotel. Max says attendees never realize the math behind the show never fails. I know and there's so much so much that goes into running a show and the venue, and then does the venue have enough tables? A lot of venues you check in and they're like, yeah, they have space to run 150 tables, but they only have 50. And then so you have to pay for table rental, and that's not free, obviously. So there's just so much that goes into running a show. Shipshewana this past weekend was a nightmare. Had to be 10,000 people on Saturday. I heard it was an awesome show. Like from everything I've heard, it was a great success in Shipshewana. Matt Shaw, very nice. Yes. And speaking of shows, I had a management company just reach out to me this morning about autograph guests, and I am not in the market to do an autograph show. I do a card show. It's not an autograph show, but they sent me a list. They'd like to, of course, they want to bring their players to the show so they can charge. But they've got an impressive roster. So it would be like Brewers. So they've got Bryce Terang on their roster. They've got a lot of Cubs. Looks like Terang's going through. I don't know who else. I haven't even gone through is that Nate Pearson? Pitcher. I don't know who this is, though. It's not loading. Anyway, so I don't want to get into that. But you never know. Rich says, did you notice one of the last? I did. Yes, Rosman Verdugo. Rosman ripped with us last year at spring training. His brother Luis was a Cubs prospect, no longer in the organization. Where is Luis now? Is he with the Astros? I can't remember where he went. But yeah, we were hanging out, ripping packs, and like I think Ethan said, he's like, yeah, Luis Verdugo is going to come. He's going to bring his brother. It's like, oh, cool. So we're just hanging out, ripping packs, and I just figured it was his brother's in town, hanging out with his brother. And I'm like, did you ever play baseball? And he just kind of has this smile, and he goes, I have a card. It's like, oh, shit, you're Rosman Verdugo, San Diego Padres. And I saw we were kind of Ron and I were right there at the exit at Sloan where the players come down. And we were just kind of watching the scoreboard that you can see from that angle. And I saw now batting Rosman Verdugo. I'm like, oh, sweet. I was not in the stadium. I did not see his at bat, but I did see his name come across the scoreboard. So yeah, that's been my trip so far. Dystemics in the house. What's going on? Leaving for there 2 weeks from today. We're missing each other. I'll be here. I'm leaving a week from today. I mean, I just got here yesterday, but I'll be here till next Wednesday. So yeah, today it's kind of a bummer. I mean, it's only 10 o'clock. It's like, shit, I'm going to go take a walk, I guess. Probably this afternoon, hit up the Showtime card shop. I'll probably go take a walk around the park and get a little exercise in today since I don't want to just sit inside and watch ESPN all day. And then hit up the card shop this afternoon, and then we'll rip some cards and do some trading. And Rich, I'll get a hold of you and let you know what time what time we're going to start things off and have some fun. And tomorrow, we're back to game time tomorrow. It is a home game at Sloan Park. I don't even know who the Cubs play tomorrow. It's a night game. So I'll be in the morning. I'll go down to the backfields, watch minor league workouts, and then probably come back to the hotel around lunchtime and eat a banana or something. And then I'll go meet up at the Club 400 tent, get that set up with Kathy at 3. And then we'll be tailgating tomorrow night. Cubs cards for kids. They'll be out there starting tomorrow. Forgot to bring them yesterday. But I'll have all the Cubs cards for kids packs starting tomorrow night for the night game. So come on out to the Club 400 tailgate tent. And I didn't even think about this until I got into town, because we had a friend of mine was out here last week, and he's like, I couldn't find the Club 400 tent. And I'm like, how could you not find it? There's only like 4 tents. There's only like 4 or 5 tailgate tents. I didn't think about the parking lot, the parking area. It's not a parking lot. It's a big grass parking area in front of the hotels. That's where there's a ton of tailgating. And it's like, oh, I bet they were looking at the parking lot tailgating, where we're in the actual but we're along the walking path between Sloan Park and the Performance Center. So the players walk right by. Well, some of the players walk by. The big names, they take golf carts and go around back. But still, Matt Shaw, Kate Horton, Jonathan Long, Nick Hall, Carlos Perez, James Triantos. Who else? Craig Counsell always walks down the path. Rick Sutcliffe still in town. So if you're out here, stop by the Club 400 tent, which is on the walking path between the Performance Center and Sloan Park. It's not in the big parking lot over by the hotels. So I didn't even take that into consideration. There's only 4 or 5 tents. How could he miss it? And then yesterday I'm like, oh, all the people tailgating in the parking lot. That's where they were probably looking for the tent. Dystemic says Vito's. I haven't been over there since, I think I've only been to Vito's once. I think it was the first year, maybe the second time I was out here. So maybe I will. I think I have 2 night activities or 3 night activities planned. So I don't know if I'll make it over there. So tomorrow night obviously is a night game. Saturday, I think I'm going to hit up the comedy show. My buddy Joe Kilgallen, comedian, he's performing his stand-up here in town. So I'll probably do that on Saturday night. And then we've moved my fantasy draft. It was originally going to be in the afternoon. So I was going to tailgate for an hour and then take an Uber up to Scottsdale or over to Scottsdale. I'm not good with my directions out here. Because our draft is going to be in Scottsdale. But one of the guys was like, hey, do you want to move the draft up earlier? And I'm like, ooh, no. I'd rather have it at the time set or later. So as it stands, I think we're going to do in the evening. So I'll probably just end up hanging out. I don't know if I'll go into the game on Sunday. Might just, depending on who's at the tent. If everybody goes into the game and nobody stays at the tent, I'll go into the game. But if people stay back and hang out outside, I'll stick around and just hang out at the tent on Sunday. Let's see. Rich says there was a day where we didn't put up the tent due to a small crowd and needing to head in early. Yeah, that's a bummer. So maybe that was the day that he was out here. It was last week. It was the WIU. It was my alma mater, Western Illinois. It was the alumni event, which was last Wednesday. So maybe it was that day that he was out here and couldn't find the tent because it wasn't up. Oh yeah, Nico Horner. Nico Horner walked the path yesterday. And what I thought was cool, nobody asked for his autograph. And I like that. I like it when guys walk by and they're not hounded, because that, like, I feel like if guys get hounded like all the time, they're less apt to, especially if I'm out here like every game and they see me not asking for an autograph. They're like, oh, he doesn't have 1,000 cards that he wants me to sign. So yeah, Nico Horner. That was probably the biggest name that walked down from the Cubs. Uncle Rich is here. What's going on? Good morning. It is still morning. Rich says, glad I caught this, albeit accidentally. Yeah, it was. I wasn't planning on going live. I've been up a long time. I've been up since like 4. I tried to go back to sleep, but then it's like, well, I probably fell asleep at like 7:30 last night. So I had plenty of sleep by 4 a.m. I went to McDonald's. I actually sat inside because it's like, well, what else do I have to do today? It's still early. Then I went to Walmart, did a little grocery shopping, swung by the backfields just to see if there was any activity. No activity. Actually, the only activity on the backfields was it appeared to be somebody getting arrested. There was one vehicle in the parking lot, and it was, I think, Arizona State Police, and they had a guy in handcuffs in the parking lot. Like, what happened here? So that was the only activity that was going on. Nobody was on any of the fields. So I'm like, oh, I might as well go live. It's a lot later than normal, but what else do I have to do? So I'll just hang out here in the room for a little bit, might go take a walk, and then head out to it's a beautiful day. It's going to be like, I think it's 66 right now. It's going to be in the mid to upper 70s today, sunny. You probably can't see, but you can see well, you can't. It's just a whiteout, but you can see. This actually might be the exact same room I was in last year, because I have like the exact same. Actually, I think I might have been further down, because I can see a little less of the outfield than I could last year. Like standing in my window. Yeah, I can see the berm. But I can't see any of the field, barely, like bits of the field. So, and it kind of in the similar from where my room was last year at the hotel. Rich says, keep it moving. Nothing to see here. LOL, right? Keep her moving. So yeah, good times. Probably do some ripping tonight, and I'll put any hits on Twitter. So I think that's all I have. That's all I've got. I don't know if I'll go live again while I'm out here. Usually I do like 1 or 2 lives from here. It just kind of depends on timing. If there's another off day, I probably will just to burn time. But otherwise, first thing in the morning, I'm up, coffee, and heading out to the backfield. So, but I'm usually up early enough that I could probably squeeze in. We're going on 35 minutes. So, depending on what's going on the next few days. So, all right, I'm going to take off, go for a walk or something. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. My eBay store is still open, by the way. You won't get anything shipped until next week, but you can still take advantage of my 25% off sale. Buy 7 or more cards or items at regular price. Save 25% off at checkout, 99centcards.com. Check out 99centcards.com. Once I return, we'll be putting a whole bunch of auctions. Oh, that's what I can do. I've got a bunch of cards uploaded to Card Dealer Pro. I can get those auctions scheduled. That's the whole reason why I brought my laptop. So check out the eBay store, 99centcards.com. Like, subscribe. Maybe we'll do this again at some point in the next few days. It'll probably be a surprise like this morning's was. So just stay tuned. Mikey says, do you know any vintage estate sale finds? No. Every once in a while I look. I don't look that often. Once a week, once every 2 weeks, I'll take a look at estate sales and auctions that are popping up. But Certainly nothing. Usually if they are, it's like junk or super overpriced. So not much out there, at least that I've seen. Alrighty, I'm going to take off. Have a wonderful day. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Have a great day, and we'll see you at some point.